Assalamualaikum and a good day. My name is Asma Wan Muhammad Sobri from UiTM Perlis. Here I will present research study entitled Performance Analysis between Quantum Computers and Silicon Computers, a Preliminary Investigation. This is the outline covered on the slides, which consists of the introduction, motivation, objective, method, result discussion, limitation of the study, conclusion, and last but not least is the references. For the introduction, these days, humankind is employing silicon computers with transistors for a multitude of tasks. Silicon computers have and still is a part of our life from the late 90s. We use them to simplify so many things such as calculation, scheduling, and planning. And there are several classes such as personal computer, workstations, mini computer, mainframes, and supercomputer. Their processing capabilities differ based on their classes, and that brings about a point of concern. Most laws state that the processing power of computer will double every 2 years and carry on indefinitely. There will be a breaking point for this, and that is why we need preparations to move on to a better and improved technology that can compensate for this growth, which is the quantum computer. Quantum computers are the next step in the computer evolution, which will replace silicon computers in terms of performance. Thus, the study aimed to do a performance analysis on how a quantum computer and silicon computer initiate simple algorithms involving control statements. And there are several tests conducted with the various control statements of programming to differentiate the completion time between the computer generations. Motivation. Motivation of the study is because quantum computers are such powerhouses of the computer world. However, development of quantum computers are not a priority compared to the furthering of the current technology of the silicon computer. While it is relatively true that if it is not broke, do not fix it, there comes a time when change is necessary. Just as we have stepped away from vacuum tube computer, now comes the time where we as humans must begin the journey away from the silicon computers. At the present moment, quantum computers have a major downside which is mainly focused around instability because even minor interference can interfere with its processes as calculations are taking place at the quantum level. To counter this, most experimental systems have to rely on absolute zero cooling as well as heavy shielding. This is both monumentally expensive and inconvenient to work with. Thus, the study conducted was for the purpose of exposing the processing capabilities of quantum computers within the context of the control statements algorithm when compared to a silicon computer. So the objective of the study is to analyze the effect of executing various control statement algorithm experiments between a quantum computer and a silicon computer. Two phases involved in this study includes experimental design and testing evaluation phase intermediate. Experimental design was the first phase in the study. Within this phase, the programming algorithm guidelines for the experiments were made by standardizing the algorithm which were executed on both the quantum and silicon computers. In addition, the experiment environment was then prepared by utilizing similarly stable control statement for while and if else algorithm, which would then be executed through QScript and C. As for the testing and evaluation pass, the prepared algorithm from the experimental design phase were executed on both the quantum and silicon computer programming environments. For the quantum computer, the program algorithm were executed online via QScript on the Google Quantum Playground, while on the silicon computer, it was executed via C-Free 5.0, including an optional online C compiler. The experiments were repeated several times for all three experiments on both machines. During the execution of the experiments, the result which were the completion times were recorded, and every algorithm was executed a minimum of 5 to any amount of times as deemed necessary to account for random inconsistencies which may occur. This section detailed results throughout the experimentation of phase of the study. Data from of these three experiments medium, which include the physical silicon computer and the quantum computer, were illustrated as below. Figure 1 and Figure 2 here is both result from the for-loop experiment conducted. From the Figure 1, as you can see, result for Figure 1 suggests the silicon computer complete each cycle with a difference of about 3 seconds due to the internet latency. And for the Figure 2, the quantum computer, on the other hand, provided erratic result from the experiment, which ranged from the fastest completion of 14.83 minutes to the slowest time of 21.25 minutes. The quantum machine completed the experiment in terms of minutes. Figure 3 and Figure 4 are the result from the Y experiments, the second that was conducted. From the Figure 3 here, the results from the silicon computer were relatively similar to the first for-loop experiment in completion time, with a difference of about 3 seconds as well between them, most likely due to internet latency. Unlike the first experiment, there are no anomalies present in the completion times of the silicon machines. The silicon machines completed the experiments in terms of seconds. And the Figure 4 here, quantum computer. The quantum computer on the second experiment produced sluggish completion time of 14.1 minutes to the slowest time of 17.85 minutes. The completion times are faster on average when comparing to the quantum computer results of the first experiment. This is most likely due to the Y experiment not executing the extra processing requirement of the layered approach of the for loop, whereby there are loops within loops. The quantum machines completed the experiments in terms of minutes. Figure 5 and Figure 6 are results from if-else experiment. For the physical computer, the completion time of the physical silicon computer is relatively similar to the second experiment in average. By the Figure 6, for the quantum computer, had the slowest average completion time out of all three experiments, with the fastest completion time of the experiment being 16.35 minutes and the slowest being 20.45 minutes. The results are unexpected, partly due to the physical silicon machine displaying on average completion time similar to the second experiment, albeit having the slowest silicon machine's completion times. This could be due to the unexpected interference with the internet connection during the course of these experiments. The quantum machines completed the experiments in terms of minutes. Discussion. All three of the experiments were conducted with both a physical silicon computer environment as well as a virtual quantum computer environment. The virtual capability of the quantum machine is stated at 22 qubits of processing power, with about 2.2 qubits best effort basis per user while under heavy usage. The physical capability of the silicon machine, on the other hand, is running at a processor with the following statistics. As you can see here, Intel Core i7, based on the bare minimum processing capabilities afforded by the quantum machine when compared to physical silicon machine, it was assumed during the course of the study that the quantum machine would outperform the silicon machines in completion times for the experiments, but the result of this study proved otherwise. Physical silicon machines were able to compile execute and complete the simple control statement algorithm within terms of seconds with a minor difference in completion time between 3 to 4 seconds between the two missions, most likely due to latency between executing the program algorithm and displaying the result. The result from the silicon missions were in terms of seconds. The average completion times between the three experiments were between 11 seconds to 20 seconds from physical environments of the silicon machines. The quantum mission, on the other hand, was was only available in a virtual state and was also able to compile, execute, and complete the simple control statement algorithm. The results from the quantum missions were in terms of minutes. The average completion time between the three experiments ranged between 14 minutes to 21 minutes overall. Throughout the entire study, there were several limitations imposed. The main limitations were the lack of a physical quantum computer. Another limitation is the reliance on a publicly shared virtual quantum computer hosted by Google which function on the best effort basis, and the utilization of only a single experimental compiler known as QScript. The utilization the utilization of Google Quantum Playground as an alternative quantum computer for use in the study also is the part of the limitation of the study, and it was fortunate there even a public, publicly available quantum computer for public use globally. However, this was the issue as the quantum computer only offered a maximum performance capability of 22 qubits. The final limitation is the quantum computer compiler offered by the Google Quantum Playground. Is the QScript compiler. It is estimated that no matter how powerful a computer hardware may be, it is always limited by its software utilization of said hardware. So for the conclusion, the study was undertaken to explore the performance capability of the new quantum computers when compared to our currently utilized silicon computers. Initially, the study predicted that the quantum computers would surpass the silicon computer without much effort. Remarkably, that was entirely the opposite of the findings of the study. After completion of all experiments, the results were used to determine which computer is more capable performance-wise in executing control statements when comparing the completion times between a quantum computer and silicon computer. The quantum computer had sluggish results with a massive gap in completion times when compared to the silicon computer. And last is the references of the study.